Looking at the financial sector ETF, we can see that price has pushed through the volume here in the 20 to 23 area and is now starting to push into what is the final volume area of any significance before really it has nothing much to fight. We can see here on the 20 that there's very light volume all the way up through really after this 24.5 to 25 area. If we put a Fibonacci on it to see where other supports and resistances are, we can see that the 61.8 is also up here at the 25.82, though there's no real volume to it, so I question how much of a resistance it'll be. It'll be interesting to see how the stocks within XLF react if we do get a base over this 24.5 and into this 25 to 26 area. We can see again there's not much volume all the way up to test really all the way up into the 38s. Obviously that would be a somewhat of a time consuming climb, but again if there's no volume it'll probably go a little bit quicker. We can see that even coming up through this volume it really didn't have much of an issue, just a couple stalls but really no dropbacks ever in the financial sector. Looking at the holdings of the financial sector, we can see Berkshire Hathaway, which is the largest holding, is coming up to the top of this higher volume area. Break over 150 would most likely see it test into the all-time high, and then possibly even higher than that to find a possible target. We could do something like this, and we see it breaking up into possibly the 161 area and even 165. WFC also is the second largest holding. We can see it's getting ready to break here at all-time high for a possible test into the 58s and 59s. JPM has already started to break out. If we put it on a 20-year just to check it out, we can see that it's pushing also into these peak highs on the 20. There's no real volume here in JPM either. We find Bank of America to be somewhat of a laggard right now. It seems to be forming a base still and hasn't really made that push. I'm not really sure why, but we do see the formation of volume here in back let's call it right there at 17 and possibly into that 18-15 area. But if we could see a break over that again, we can see here on this chart that there is hardly any volume established here in this higher area on BAC. Again, putting a retracement on it, we can see that the 23.6 and also the 20-year high volume node are providing support for possible move higher. Typically, we see here that there's also a little bit of a inverse head and shoulders if you really want to play it that way, but really we have a channel here that comes from the bottom side and we're looking for a break up over the top. If we want to look, I thought it was kind of interesting to see the BAC contracts even out for this month into May's. They're pretty big. Looking through, we can see that when we get down into the Januaries, they get pretty large all the way through, in the money and out of the money on both sides. There's probably somewhat of a spread going on here, but again we see it all the way down into the January 17th, so this might be something to look at for a longer term play that you can just kind of tuck away and not really look at too much, but just check up on every once in a while and have some stops set on it.